I'm Rob Glover, and welcome to Be Happy and Feel Great. Today we have a great guest for you, an author who's written a marvelous book, Nothing Good Comes from a But. The author is Michael Malkush. Michael, welcome. Good to see you.
Thanks a lot, Rob. It's a pleasure to be here on your show. I'm really excited. I love the way the show started with the music and upbeat, and really that's what Nothing Good Comes from a But is. It's an upbeat book, just getting people to stop making excuses and to be happy and successful with their lives.
You don't think people make excuses for anything, do you?
Oh, you know, I think the oldest excuse there is, I was a school teacher. Okay, I spent 30 years in the classroom and the dog ate my homework, you know. I never heard a kid say it, but, you know, that's been the joke back from the 1800s or whatever, you know, the one-room schoolhouse joke. So, no, the amount of excuses that people make, and I think by the time we finish the show today, if we don't accomplish anything else, it's going to be the awareness that they're going to have.
Right.
And every time they say the word but, they're making an excuse. So if people hear that, most of the time they say but, I should say.
Before we get into the buts and the different kind of buts, whether it's large or small or anything else,
Sure.
Why don't you tell us a little bit about you, Mike? You said you were a teacher before, but I mean, were you an author all your life, or did you just start doing that? Or
No, I always had a book inside me. I always knew someday I'm going to write a book. And a lot of it was because of being a teacher and in the classroom, the stories and the book was being written right in my classroom or in the building. And I just had to figure out, what am I going to do with it?
Right.
So I made some notes. I wrote a couple of paragraphs here and there of, wow, that would be interesting. People would like to hear about that.
Right.
And being a teacher, I always found that I love helping people. And I felt that I had the experience and I wanted to write a self-development book. So it was...
What were, like, just to start off the show with a bang or a laugh or whatever, can you give us one great example of one of the best buts you ever heard?
Oh boy, there was, just the way the title of the book came. Okay, not the classroom, but my own children. Okay, back 15 years ago or so, I had two teenage children then. Now my son's in his early 30s, my daughter's in her late 20s, but they were always agreeing to disagree. You know the way that goes, you know, teenagers, you know, you tell them to do something. So it was my son one night. My wife and I were both, okay, Chris, you know, go out, have fun. Don't forget your curfew is 12 o'clock.
Right.
But all my friends get to stay out until 1, you know, but my friends don't have it. So all of a sudden my wife, and it just came out of the clear blue, she goes, nothing good comes from a but. And he just laughed. Yeah. I laughed. My daughter who was there, we all started laughing. And it diffused the whole situation. And it really did. And it was just a funny story. But the reason that it's an important story is in our family, we always use that. Nothing good comes from a but.
Well, nothing good comes from a but. And there's also like kind of a subtitle to it. I mean, on the cover, we notice there's a subtitle. And what's the rest of it just to
Well, yeah, I guess they can't see it down here. But it's wipe away excuses and get on the roll to happiness. So we figured, well, if we're going to be having this play on words, let's just continue it and have fun with it.
Right.
And it really is. It's a topic that I can have a lot of fun with, and you know, there's just a lot of things throughout the book that I make reference to. That it's a fun book with a great message, and it is going to help a lot of people. And I hope a lot of people get a chance to read it.
Good, good. Well, how about what are like some 5 types of buts that would hold people back? I mean, I know there's some chapters in your book, different topics and everything, but I think one of them had something to do with like 5 types of buts that hold people back.
Yeah, the 5, I actually have in the book 24 buts that hold people back. Okay, and one of them would be from my first chapter in the book. It's the chapter is called "Just Do It,"
Right.
and then the but would be, "But I don't know how," or "But I can't." You know, and it's that excuse. But I can't. How many people have you heard say, "But I can't do something"?
Right, right.
Okay, and we're saying, just do it. Wayne Gretzky, hockey legend, he always said, you miss 100% of the shots you don't take.
That's true.
Isn't that true?
Yes, it is.
You know, and here people say, or Nike came out with, just do it. Just do it. You know, when I put on my pair of Nikes I felt like I could do anything.
Right, right.
You know, I could run faster, I could jump higher, I could do whatever I wanted, and it built up my confidence by that little just do it. And people say, but I can't. Another one is, but I'm worried. How many people do you hear saying that, but I'm worried? Okay, worrying is a waste of energy. People are worrying about the future. They're worrying about what hasn't arrived yet. So many people go to sleep at night and they say, I didn't sleep all night because I was worried about whatever it is.
Right.
And they worry. So it's like we have to deal with the present. You can't do anything about the past.
Right, it's gone.
That's gone. So we just have this moment, here, you and I on this talk show. I can't be, I don't think you can't be in two places at the same time.
Right.
I'm here, so I don't have time to worry. Right. But too many people do. So that's another big but that they have.
What do you think pushes the big buts? Do you think it's fear, worry, self-confidence? What do you think really is the biggest driver of the single, for lack of a better phrase, biggest but?
Well, right, we have big butts and there's small butts out there. And usually when I refer to a small butt, it's like a habit.
Right.
People have these different habits. It's not a big issue, so you don't hang your clothes up, or somebody doesn't do it. You have to retrain them and make them aware of it. Awareness is really one of the big keys to stuff. But a big but is a habit maybe somebody has with addictions or alcoholism.
Right.
That's a big but. That's serious. My book isn't going to, it'll address it. It'll talk about 12-step programs. It'll talk about different ways where you could get help for it. But I address the little buts, the things that could be changed and people can be aware of. Okay, so some of the things some of the issues, there's another one out of the 5 buts is, but I'll do it later. Procrastination. How many people,
Yeah, just put it off till tomorrow. Put it off till tomorrow.
But do you realize that if you say that, you can keep saying it?
Yeah.
But I'll do it later. And then tomorrow comes, but I'll do it later. Yeah, I know, but I'll do it later. And again, I'm using that word but, and I hope your listeners, if it starts kicking in, that when you say but, you're making an excuse. Here's another one, okay? People are afraid to ask. But what if they say no?
Right.
And that affects across the board. The person asking a girl out on a date. But what if she says no? Or somebody asking for a raise, or in sales, if somebody's asking for the sale.
Right.
So many people don't get the sale because they're afraid of that rejection. They don't want to hear the no.
Right, right.
So they're afraid of it. But what if they say no? That's what they think. That's what their mind is programmed to. But what if they say yes?
Yeah.
And if
you might get a positive answer.
You might get a
positive.
There's nothing is any different if they say no. It's not like you lost anything. Okay, you got to be tough skin in this world. But there's so much in sales that they say that the sale is actually made many times after the 7th no.
Right, right. Yeah, you got to be persistent.
You got to
keep
be
at it.
persistent.
Can't have
You got
that
to
fear.
persevere. And so many people they don't.
Right,
They
right.
stop somewhere in that process, maybe after the second or third, and all of a sudden, oh wow, so they are afraid and everything. So there are a lot of chapters in my book and throughout the book where I address the different buts that come up.
Right.
But the main,
You've wiped away, though, some butts, too, I know, out of your life, and especially with the launch of the book.
sure.
One of them, though, I know is all of a sudden, when you went from Mike Malkush, retired teacher, father, grandfather, husband, to author, and now part of your going on with the book is, I hear you're being interviewed by radio stations all over the country. I mean, how did you get that out of the way? How did you remove that fear or apprehension to go ahead and do those things?
That's true. That's true, because the first one, like anything you do, the first time is the hardest.
Right.
And it's doing it and building up the confidence to be able to do it. I didn't make up excuses and say, but what if I don't do well on
Right.
it? Or, but what if he asks me a question I don't know, or I don't know how to answer it?
Right.
And after a while, it really has. The book is launching a new career for me. I really put a lot of time and energy into it.
Right.
And it's a book that I wrote that I wish I could have purchased. And that's how I look. It was a book, there was a void. It wasn't out there. So I decided, let me write something that would have helped me in the process of somewhere in my life.
Right.
And I think it could help a lot of other people.
Good.
But in turn, I'm doing a lot of talk shows, the radio shows. You're right, it's been all over the country, and it's amazing with technology today how you could be doing that.
Well, give us a couple examples. I mean, who have you talked to? I mean, LNG in Long Island, just local, or have you gone?
No, I haven't even done anything
Really?
local. I haven't approached them. I had one a few weeks ago. It was up in Maine. It's the second largest talk show in Maine. And it was a great interview. It was a half an hour interview. And they really were very, very interested in the book. And they had contacted me. I had another one that just aired 3 days ago. It was out in the state of Washington. It was an hour long with
Really?
a doctor out there, and she was great. And she was just looking at it from, and when I say it was a PhD doctor, not a medical doctor. And she's also she has a practice. She's a psychologist, and she actually, with the philosophies of the book, she is so excited about it that when it launches in a few days,
Right.
I have to get her a copy because she'd like to recommend it to her clients.
Really? Good.
She really feels that it would help. And the thing about it is, it's written in simple terms. A lot of times, and I've read all motivational, self-development, self-help books since probably Wayne Dyer back in the 70s, when he had your erogenous zones and pulling your own strings. A lot of them, though, were, over the years, maybe a little bit too technical, where I try to put it in simple terms, and I say to people, you don't have to know how an internal combustion engine works to drive your car, or you don't have to know how the motherboard on your computer is working to send an email. So I'm trying to just get rid of a lot of the really detailed stuff that a lot of times just people find a little over their head or get a little boring.
So you're actually removing some of the buts for people that might be holding them back from helping themselves. You've taken out the technical or the high level jargonese or whatever.
That's right. That's
and
right.
You're making it easier for people to help themselves.
I'm making it easier for them, and it's just an easy read, and it could be. It's also set up that you can pick up any chapter. You might have a chapter that interests you, so you don't have to read it in order. It's nice to read it in order and then go back to a chapter that you have an interest in.
Right. Well, what would be another good example? Like, what's your favorite chapter in the book? I mean, what do you think will give people the most, help by reading one simple chapter? What would you say that would be?
I think follow your dreams. And it's really about, well, Walt Disney had said, if you could dream it, you could do it.
Right.
And it's meant to give people confidence that whatever they put their mind to, and I really believe this, if you really want to do something, that every person out there has the ability to do it, realistically.
Right.
If that's where you want to put your energy, if somebody wants to create a business, let's say, and they want to be an entrepreneur, if that's what they're going to do, and if they're going to wake up in the morning and be motivated and keep plugging away at it, do 5 things a day towards your dream, they're going to achieve it at some point. And the way that I look at that is, here we are in East Hampton today.
Right.
We know that Manhattan is west of here. If we took 5 steps every day, eventually we're going to get there. So it's taking those steps, and once people can develop their, I guess, to really understand what they want. A lot of people get stuck. They don't. They look at what they don't want instead of what they want.
Right.
And it's kind of like opposite, It's like, well, it's negative. Why are you focusing on that?
But, and here's the but, Mike. I mean, and I guess this will be a curveball for you or whatever, but it'll show people really, I guess, what the book is and what you're about. Let's say I don't have the best job in the world. I'm not a CEO. I'm not a president of a corporation. I'm not anything. I'm working selling clothes in a store, for not the best wage.
Sure.
And I have high aspirations, but I say to everybody, and I say to myself, I can't get out of this selling clothes thing. This is what I do. I got to pay my bills every week. I got to pay my bills every month. This is my life. But I'd really like to be something else. But what do we tell them? What do you advise them to do?
Well, they have to be aware of what they're really looking for. Why are they saying those buts? I have a little formula, and it's called A minus B equals C. A is the awareness.
Right.
That's the buts that they're saying. Okay. A is the awareness. B is the buts. Minus the buts.
Right.
That's what equals change. And until they could really go deeper into themselves and take a look at it, they have to decide where they want to go. And a lot of people don't do that. They just say, I'm stuck in this job. This is what I am.
Right.
I have to do this. And they're not doing anything to change. And you're not, unless there's some type of change and there's some type of mindset that's in there, they are going to be stuck, and they're just going to keep saying but, and then the negativity comes out and the complaining, and then they're going to start blaming it, Well, I'm here because, and then the blame game comes in. And that's just another excuse.
Yeah.
They're blaming it because, well, I didn't go to college. Well, guess what? There's millions of other people that didn't.
Right.
And then sometimes you have to look at what is success. Everybody's definition of success is a little bit different.
Well, what do you mean by that? Everybody's definition of success is different. I mean, doesn't everybody want to be the multi-million-dollar, wealth, the CEO of a corporation and flying around in a private jet?
Not at all. Nope. Many times, those are the people that you think are successful, but they're miserable. You think that they're the people that are happy. A lot of people want to be the rock star or the actor or that CEO. And then, if you look at it, do you really want the paparazzi to be around taking your picture? Do you? A lot of people think just having a lot of money is what's going to bring them happiness. But that person in the job, just by making a couple of minor changes, can end up being a very happy person and feel successful. Maybe for that one person, there's a problem in that job. Maybe it's an advancement. Maybe it's something in his personal life or her personal life that has to change. And just by making a few minor changes, they could be happier than the CEO of a company. So that's really, it's your definition of what success is, and it's not about the money.
Right. Okay. Again, nothing good comes from a but, wiping away excuses. I mean, it's easy to say, but do you have any tips or advice for people, shedding some of their excuses, getting rid of some of them? I mean, what would you tell them?
Well, the first thing is to start being aware of it. Like I said in the beginning of the show, Rob, when you hear yourself saying but, a lot of times you're making up an excuse. And there's self-defeating things that you're doing in your life, okay? The next thing is you have to analyze. You have to do a little bit of soul searching. Where are you now and where do you want to be a month from now, 3 months from now, 6 months from now? And you have to write that down. If you don't write down some of your dreams or your goals or where you're looking to go, you're going to probably forget about it, and you could look at it and you could see it and you could focus on it. And once you start a process like that, it's a lot of crazy things happen subconsciously. You hear that term, well, sleep on it.
Yeah.
Do you ever notice you wake up the next day and the answers magically appear?
Yeah, they come up.
Too many people shoot from the hip and they don't give things a little bit of time for stuff to work.
Right.
But I truly believe that if you were to take baby steps, you don't want to take try to change the world, and say, okay, well, I'm going to do all this. It took a long time in your life to be the person you are.
Right.
And if you could look at what are your priorities, what do you want to do? Some people it might be something related to their health. Some other person it might be their financial. I actually have also started a website, and it's called behappyfeelgreat.com.
Right.
And it coaches people. It helps them achieve their goals. And it's going to be working with, in the beginning, what are you looking to do? I have worksheets that go along with it. I have videos that they're going to be watching. I'm going to be bringing in experts in all different areas. And then they'll be able to work at their own pace.
Right.
And I'm going to dive deep into every chapter of the book.
Okay.
So
When you talk about the website and helping people, I mean, is it going to be just something where someone will go on and it's kind of a, generic, one thing covers everybody, or is it going to be able to be customized for individuals' help?
It'll be customized for people, and the way that we'll be doing it is there will be a small fee for it, but a very small fee. And we'll have question and answer sessions. There'll be different types of meetings. There'll be support to go along with it. So this way, somebody could maybe have an area where they need a little bit of help. And a lot of times you just can't get it from your family members, say. Maybe the family members are part of the problem, and you need somebody else.
On the outside.
And there'll also be a community in here, so people will be able to share. It'll be a lot of like-minded people that'll be part of it.
Well, you talk about people sharing, and of course you'll be probably the lion's share of the input on the site, but I mean, are you going to have like a life coach available or anything else on the site to really help people with different aspects in their life? Or?
Yes, we will. Yes. Good point. Good question. There's a network of life coaches that I'm going to be working with. I used the example before, like with addiction. I have a coach that works, a recovery coach, and that person will be able to work one-on-one either with families of somebody who has some type of addiction, where people feel helpless. They're where do I turn? What do I do? And sometimes there's support out there, but sometimes they want something a little bit different. And a recovery coach can be somebody that could work with them. And I have a career. With careers, a lot of people in this economy, they're losing their jobs, they're getting laid off, they're looking to start their own business, and sometimes they need a little bit of help with a career coach. So that could be the one-on-one that they could get for the support. They could get the group through the website. They could get some direct question and answers. And there's different types of worksheets and different tailored stuff to go with the different areas.
So you're talking about you'll have like probably a career coach, a life coach, and you'll be able to refer these people to different spots to get them customized individual
Right,
help.
I'll have like a wellness coach
Right.
where somebody could go and maybe work with somebody who's a personal trainer that is going to help them and be accountable for maybe their lifestyle and
Right.
the food that they eat, and to try to keep the balance, you know. It's like sometimes people just need that little bit of help, you know. They're almost there, but
Right,
why am I stuck? Why am I stuck? You know, what can I do to be better? And again, I see a certain void, and I think that the book is the starting point for people.
Okay, good.
But I don't want to just stop there. I think I could really help people at a lot of different levels.
Different levels?
Different
All right,
levels,
so you talked
yeah.
about you can help people with the book, you can help people with the website. I mean, that's pretty full plate for you.
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
Sure, yeah. And, you know, I spent my life helping people. You know, 30 years in the classroom.
Right.
Lot of help with the little kids.
Uh-huh.
And I'm getting out and I'm doing some motivational speaking. I'm trying to talk now to more adults.
Good.
And I'm loving it.
Yeah.
You know, no discipline problems with the adult. You know, you don't get distracted and say,
Right.
hey, you know, sit down, or, you know, some of the other things. And it was just wonderful. You know, I had a
good.
great career. I myself have reinvented myself since I wrote the book. And because I have been used to helping people, I want to continue it, but I'm just looking at a different level.
Right, good. Well, Mike, it's been really good having you here, and I think what you're doing is marvelous, you know, with the book, with the website, helping everybody. And just one more time, what's the title of that book? I can't even say it. What's the title?
Nothing good comes from a but.
And the secondary?
Wipe away excuses and get on the road to happiness.
That's it. Michael, thank
That's
you for being
it.
here. It's been great. Good luck with the book.
Oh,
and
thank you,
thank
Rob.
you for helping everybody.
Oh, that was great. Thanks
It's been
a lot.
great. Thank you again.
Okay.